I've been playing Minecraft for over a decade, and I just learned some of these. And I'm surprised that I didn't know the last one. Up first is that diamonds can be found under lava. I was very skeptical about this because when I first started playing Minecraft, everyone always said that diamonds could be found around lava. But ever since the Cave and Cliffs update, it's a lot easier to find them under it. So if we go underneath this giant lava lake that I found in a cave, if I go down, we can see, boom, right over here, there's diamonds. And if I come on over here, there's even more. Again, this was fairly new to me because I didn't know that this was a thing. And apparently it's due to air exposure, and diamonds will not generate as often next to air blocks. So some of the ways that I found that help to find them are using buckets, trapdoors, glass blocks, and fire resistance potions. These will just make it easier so you don't take too much damage and you can easily get them and get out. If you're also in need of obsidian, you could always place down a water bucket to create obsidian and then just mine that away. But that will take forever. Personally, after testing this, my favorite method is by using glass. It's relatively cheap and it's a little bit easier, especially if the lava is really shallow. Number 2 is that iron bars cure zombie villagers faster. So I had no idea that if we go down to the bottom of an igloo and we find our trapped villager with a villager zombie, the iron bars themselves are the clue. So if we encase a zombie villager in a 9x9x9 cage of iron bars, we can speed up the process by 10 to 12 seconds, which may not seem like a lot, but honestly, have you ever sat around waiting for these guys to turn? It takes forever. And then you just go through the same process of using a splash potion of weakness and feeding them a golden apple, and then you wait, just not as long. Apparently this same process can be sped up by surrounding them with beds, so pick which method you want to use. Number 3 is that mushrooms can be milked 2 different ways. Now, a mushroom is essentially a cow, so if we want to, we can just walk up to it with a normal bucket and get milk. But we can also use a wooden bowl. However, if we use a wooden bowl, we will not get milk, but we'll get mushroom stew. So if you ever find yourself on a mushroom island, this is a great food source, and you have a way of getting rid of bad effects such as poison or bad omen. Hey, my zombie healed. You can also feed these guys various flowers in order to get suspicious stew. I have a whole video on suspicious stew, and if you want to check it out, you can click the video in the top right corner. After this one, also if you shear mushrooms, you'll get a normal cow plus some red mushrooms, and if you take out a mushroom, you can get beef and leather. Well, just like a cow. Now, this next one I think is not anything new, but hopefully it helps somebody. And that's that lightning can change mobs. I think we all know that lightning can create charge creepers, but it can also turn villagers into witches. It can also turn pigs into zombie piglin. When I first learned about this, I was flabbergasted, but it honestly made so much sense. So again, you might have already known this one, but I thought I'd throw it in and share it in case somebody didn't. This next one I honestly thought was a mod for the longest time until I tried it myself. And that's that iron golems can be healed. So if I take a splash potion of healing and I throw that onto a I hate that I missed that. You can heal iron golems by using a splash potion of healing or by taking iron ingots and right-clicking on them. So if you use iron golems to defend your village, or if you use them in your wither farms to take them out, this is a really helpful tip, especially if you don't have an iron farm. Why don't you have an iron farm? This next one is specifically for creative players. You can see through mobs' eyes. So the only way to do this is, again, be in creative mode, and then you'll have to go into spectator mode. Once you do that, you'll be this kind of ghostly version of yourself, and you can fly around and do ghost things. But let's say that we wanted to look through the eyes of the iron golem. All we have to do is walk up to it and left click on it, and we will see what they see. While doing this, you have no control over the mob. You are strictly inside their head, seeing what they see and moving with them. To get out of the mob's eyesight, all you have to do is crouch or on computer hit shift. But looking through mob's eyes has its own set of Easter eggs. For example, if we go into a creeper's eyesight, everything is tinted green. And it kind of reminds me of the old school Doom game or a lot of those older computer games. So this is what it's like to be a creeper. If we click on a spider, we will see through every one of their eyes, which is a little disorienting if you're not used to it, but it's still kind of cool. And if we go into an Enderman's head, all of the colors are inverted, which, isn't too bad. It's kind of interesting to see how an Enderman sees, but I definitely could not live like this. For this next one, I'm kind of surprised that I have never heard anyone talk about this, but you can use armor stands for protection. So if you have armor on an armor stand and each piece of armor is enchanted with thorns, if you punch it, it's going to inflict damage. So each of these pieces of netherite armor are enchanted with thorns. If I go up and punch it, I take 1 heart of damage. That's crazy. Now, again, this only works if someone were to punch at them. If you just walk into them, you're gonna walk right through the armor. But I'm wondering if you put these in front of a wall, if you could use that kind of as a protection, because maybe they'll hit the armor while they're hitting the wall. I don't know. Just an idea. Now, this last one is probably not a surprise to a lot of people. I think most players know if you name tag a mob Dinnerbone, it flips it upside down. With fresh animations, this is kind of trippy. But the same thing can be done if you use the word Grum. I've always known about Dinnerbone. That has been a staple in name tags whenever I've needed to flip a mob upside down, which is pretty rare, but I learned from some of my students that Grum works the exact same way. So before I go and research about it, let me know in the comments down below if you already know, why does Grum also work? But now that you're an expert on these hidden features, maybe you want to learn how to build roofs in Minecraft. If so, you can watch this video in the top right corner. Otherwise, I'm gonna get on out of here and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!